I think if you told my teenager self that in my 20s I'd be obsessed with growing vegetables, I would have laughed at you. It all started a few years ago when in lockdown I was spending so much more time outside, just looking for things to do, and as a byproduct of that, I was just becoming more and more connected with nature. I also remember seeing a few guys online who were a similar age to me, and they were growing vegetables, and it just kind of made it all feel way more approachable, and they actually made it look pretty cool. I ended up finding some scrap bits of wood and cutting them up and screwing it all together to make the most shoddy looking raised beds that I've still got here behind me. And yeah, they did a job, and I grew the most random things that year. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Each season I'll try and grow some different things, and sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it goes terribly. But yeah, there's always something that I can eat at the end of it. So to make the most of the space that I have, I should probably do some planning first. I'm thinking about things like, what do I want to eat, what will get used, and also what makes the most sense with the space that I've got available. So I'm going to sketch an outline of the beds that I've got and then work out what I fancy growing. So with the new growing season approaching, I decided to get some fresh compost and some manure to mix in with last season's. Every year nutrients will be lost, so I just wanted to give this year's vegetables the best chance possible. And I also decided to mix in some used coffee grounds to add some extra nitrogen. And then after mixing everything together, it was then time to finally sow some seeds. This is also when I planted in my seed potatoes. I dedicated a whole section of the bed to these, as I imagine they're going to be something that I'm going to eat quite a lot of. I'm always amazed at how fast they grow, and it's really satisfying when you finally get to dig them up. I then sowed some seeds in trays, which will then go into my mini greenhouse to help them stay warm and hopefully germinate. This year I'm also going to give onions a go for the first time, so my fingers are crossed for those. And at this point winter was definitely over, spring was here and the weather had picked up, which meant that things were starting to grow. Honestly, from this point onwards, it is just kind of like a case of making sure that everything is watered enough and playing the waiting game. I noticed some of my onions had put in their energy into the leaves and the bulbs weren't really doing too well, but thankfully it's never a waste. It was quite recently that I actually found out that onion leaves are edible and you can just treat them like a spring onion, which means that they didn't grow for nothing after all. So it's now the end of May, and I thought I'd give you an update on how everything is looking. And spoiler alert, it's not all gone to plan. So the potatoes are doing great, thankfully, as well as the carrots. Most of the onions have settled in quite well, however the beetroot does look a little sad, and something has taken a liking to my peas. So for whatever reason, the things that I've been really good at growing in previous years, I'm really struggling with this year. They're just not growing. I have no idea why, but I guess that's all part of the learning experience. I think since growing vegetables, it's really made me take notice of the seasons and the weather. You know, we really are at the mercy of Mother Nature when it comes to sun and rain and wind. And yeah, it all has such a big impact on whatever you're growing. I don't know why, but I'm always really surprised when things actually do grow. So that feeling when you come out in the morning to do the watering and all these little sprouts are coming out of the ground, and yeah, that feeling just, never gets old. So finally summer arrived, and with that, it was time to finally harvest some things. And of course, taste them as well. I I should not be this excited to pull up an onion, but for whatever reason, I am. Now maybe it's just the fact that I'm proud about growing them, that they're organic, or even the fact that they went from being in the ground to on my plate in under an hour, but I genuinely think they just taste so much better than what you'd get from a shop. I think it's almost a form of meditation. I think when you're watering and you're potting and you're just checking up on all the plants, you know, that for me is when I feel at my most present. Obviously it's great to eat organically and to grow your own food, but I think the fact that you've put in the work in that process, taking it from a seed all the way to your plate, I think that alone it feels so rewarding, and it just makes it taste so much better. I can't really put my finger on why I found growing my own vegetables appealing. Maybe just because I enjoy cooking, or the fact that I've been lucky enough to grow up around nature and maybe I just naturally had it in me. Either way, I really hope this video has not only shown you how easy it can be, but just inspired you that you can do it as well if you want to. I think you'll really enjoy the process of planting the seeds, getting your hands dirty, and of course, seeing the fruits of your labour. And you definitely don't need a setup like I have either. You can start with just a few pots and a window ledge. Overall, I just find the process quite grounding, relaxing, and rewarding. And it's now something that I really look forward to each year. Thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it. I'll see you next time.